Our universe is vast and unimaginable. There are millions and billions of stars, planets, and galaxies out there, each holding secrets we may never fully understand. But some mysteries hit closer to home. One of them is the Black Knight satellite. This mysterious object has puzzled scientists and sparked wild theories for decades. But finally, Brian Cox may have an answer. So stay tuned as we take a look at some of the shocking mysteries in our universe. Number 1. The Black Knight satellite. On December 11, 1998, during the 9th day of their mission to build the International Space Station, the crew of the Space Shuttle Endeavour noticed something unusual. While unpacking new equipment, they spotted a strange, dark object floating at a distance. The object had an irregular shape that blended well with the darkness of space. The astronauts took several photos, but the shadowy color made it hard to identify. Back on Earth, these images sparked many different ideas. Some thought they might have seen an extraterrestrial spacecraft or a flying saucer. The object's appearance was unusual. It did not have the typical round or regular shape of known satellites. Instead, it had odd angles and curves that seemed out of place. NASA reviewed the photos and suggested that the object might have been a thermal cover that became detached during the construction of the space station. However, many people found this explanation hard to accept because of the object's strange form. This led to the idea that these photos could actually be showing the famous Black Knight satellite. The true origin of the Black Knight satellite remains a mystery. Its name and purpose are still not fully understood. In the 1950s, a UFO researcher named Donald Coe claimed that an unknown object was orbiting Earth and might have been made by forces beyond our world. Some theories suggest that if such an object truly exists, it may be quietly watching Earth, much like a remote observer from another civilization. Other scientists argue that an undetected space object could simply be a natural satellite or an asteroid moving in sync with Earth. Brian Cox has been vocal about the Black Knight satellite mystery, and his take on it is grounded in science and facts. According to Cox, the whole idea of an ancient alien satellite orbiting Earth is nothing more than a mix of misinformation, human imagination, and misunderstood images. Still, conspiracy theories continued to grow. Stories about Nikola Tesla receiving strange signals or NORAD tracking unknown objects were eventually lumped together with the satellite photo. Over time, all of these unrelated events formed one dramatic story, leading people to believe in a mysterious alien satellite that had been orbiting Earth for thousands of years. Cox doesn't believe there's anything mysterious about it. To him, it's just an example of how easily stories can grow when people look for patterns or meaning in things that aren't connected. In his view, the Black Knight satellite isn't a piece of alien technology. It's just a piece of space junk that got caught in the spotlight. For those hoping it was proof of something bigger, his explanation might be disappointing. But it's also the one that makes the most sense. Number 2. Tabys Star. Tabys Star, also known as KIC 8462852, is a mysterious star that is similar to our Sun. It is located about 1,470 light-years away in the constellation known as the Swan. The star lies just a few arc-minutes northeast of the open star cluster, NGC 6866. Unlike our steady Sun, Tabys Star sometimes dims by 5% to 22% for several days at a time. This strange behavior puzzles researchers. If a giant planet were orbiting Tabys Star, it would cause predictable eclipses. In fact, even a planet the size of Jupiter would only block about 1% of the star's light. Therefore, something else must be causing these large dips in brightness. Tabys Star was first noticed because of its irregular brightness changes. Since then, astronomers around the world have been closely monitoring it. They have also observed that the star's overall brightness has been slowly decreasing over the years, adding to the mystery. Several theories have been suggested to explain these changes. Some scientists think that variations in the star's magnetism or changes in how heat flows within its interior might be responsible. Other ideas have been more imaginative, including the possibility of activities by an advanced extraterrestrial civilization, although there is no strong evidence for that. One of the more likely explanations is that fragments from a moon were pulled away by the star's gravity. As the moon got close, it broke apart and released dust clouds that now orbit the star. These dust clouds could be blocking part of the star's light. Number 3. Martian Face. In 1976, NASA's Viking 1 mission sent back photos of Mars that captured everyone's imagination. One image, taken on July 25th, showed a formation in the Cydonia region that looked very much like a human face. The face-like formation was enormous, stretching nearly a mile across, with features that appeared to be 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Around this face were shapes that resembled pyramids and other structures, giving the impression that they might have been made by intelligent beings. This striking image quickly caught the public's attention. NASA scientists explained that it was an optical illusion, created by the way light and shadow fell on natural features. However, many people were not convinced. Some believed the formation was evidence of remnants from an ancient civilization on Mars. This idea was strengthened by the human tendency to recognize familiar shapes in random patterns, a phenomenon known as pareidolia. The image of the Martian face has since become a part of popular culture. It has inspired books, movies, and TV shows, and continues to fuel discussions about the possibility of life on Mars. Even though later, higher-resolution images have shown that the formation is simply a natural hill, the legend of the Martian face lives on, reminding us of our fascination with the unknown. Number 4. Interstellar Visitor Oumuamua. In October 2017, an unusual event took place. A mysterious object from another star system passed through our solar system. This object was named Oumuamua, a word that means scout or messenger in Hawaiian. It was discovered by the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii, which is part of a program funded by NASA to search for objects near Earth. Oumuamua is the first object from outside our solar system that scientists have confirmed visiting us. It is about 1/4 of a mile long and has an elongated shape. It is roughly 10 times longer than it is wide. Its appearance is similar to a cigar, and it has a reddish tint. When it was first spotted, scientists quickly began studying it using telescopes around the world, including the Very Large Telescope in Chile. They measured its orbit, brightness, and color, all because the object was moving very fast and would soon leave our view. One of the most surprising discoveries was that Oumuamua's brightness changed significantly, by a factor of 10, as it rotated every 7.3 hours. This is unusual compared to any asteroid or comet seen before in our solar system. These features suggest that Oumuamua has been traveling through the Milky Way for hundreds of millions of years before entering our solar system. The excitement among scientists grew as they described it as a strange traveler from a distant star system, unlike anything we have ever seen before. Number 5. WOW Signal. On August 15, 1977, something remarkable was detected by the Big Ear radio telescope at Ohio State University. While the telescope was scanning the skies for signs of life, it picked up a powerful radio signal that lasted 72 seconds. The signal was narrow in its frequency range, and when astronomer Jerry Ehman saw it on a printout, he wrote "Wow" next to it. This is how the signal came to be known as the WOW signal. The WOW signal came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius and was one of the best candidates for a radio transmission coming from beyond Earth. Despite many attempts over the years, scientists have not been able to find the source of the signal again. Various theories have been proposed. Some suggest it might be a natural event or some form of interference from Earth, while others find the idea of it being a message from an advanced civilization very appealing. Recent research has even pointed to a sun-like star, about 1,000 light-years away, as a possible source, but nothing has been confirmed yet. The WOW signal remains one of the great puzzles in the search for life beyond Earth. It continues to captivate the interest of both scientists and the public, serving as a reminder of how much we still have to learn about the universe. Every attempt to explain the signal raises new questions and keeps the curiosity alive. Until a similar signal is detected again or a clear explanation is found, the WOW signal stands as a beacon that fuels our hope that we might someday understand the secrets of the cosmos. Number 6. The Great Attractor. In the late 1980s, a group of astronomers made an interesting discovery. They noticed that our Milky Way galaxy, along with many neighboring galaxies, was moving toward a specific area in the southern sky at a faster pace than expected. This movement did not match what scientists predicted from the usual expansion of the universe, known as the Hubble flow. Many wondered what could be causing this unusual motion. The answer appears to be a region called the Great Attractor. This area contains such a huge amount of mass that it is equivalent to tens of thousands of galaxies. Its strong gravitational pull is believed to be drawing in galaxies from every direction. To put its size in perspective, the Great Attractor is estimated to have a diameter of about 300 million light-years. Its center is thought to lie around 147 million light-years away from Earth, yet its influence is strong enough to affect the motion of galaxies, including our own. The Great Attractor is located toward some large groups of galaxies, known as superclusters, in the southern sky. The discovery of this massive force challenged the common idea that the universe's expansion was the only factor behind galaxy movement. In reality, the Great Attractor acts like a cosmic magnet, pulling galaxies towards it. This finding opened up new questions and research areas in astronomy, reminding us that there is still much to learn about the forces shaping our universe. Number 7. Hestalen Lights. In Norway, an unusual phenomenon known as the Hestalen Lights has captured the attention of many people for decades. These unexplained lights are hard to describe and have intrigued scientists, government officials, and visitors. Even though people often view unidentified objects with doubt, the Hestalen Lights stand out as something different. Reports of these mysterious lights in the Hestalen Valley began as early as the 1930s. However, it was in 1981 that they started gaining widespread public interest. In the years that followed, the lights became a regular event, sometimes appearing 15 to 20 times in a single week. Because of this regularity, thousands of tourists began visiting the valley, hoping to see the glowing orbs with their own eyes. What makes the Hestalen Lights so interesting is both their consistency and the fact that they remain a mystery. Observers have recorded that the lights can move extremely fast, up to 30,000 kilometers per hour, using radar tracking. They seem to appear in the same valley like clockwork several times a year. Despite many studies and the use of advanced technology, scientists have not reached a definite conclusion about what causes the lights. In fact, a research center has been set up in the valley, where experts work around the clock to understand the phenomenon. Visitors have a unique chance to see these mysterious lights. Many people even camp out in the valley in hopes of catching a glimpse. Whether the lights are produced by natural processes, unknown technological effects, or something else entirely. They continue to inspire curiosity about one of the most captivating mysteries of our time. Number 8. CMB Cold Spot. In the vast universe, there is a fascinating phenomenon known as the CMB cold spot. The cold spot is a part of the cosmic microwave background, CMB, which is the faint radiation left over from the early days of the universe. Think of the CMB as a faint echo from the time when the universe was created. About 13.8 billion years ago, the universe began with a massive explosion that started everything. As the universe grew and cooled, the intense heat began to fade, leaving behind the CMB. This radiation is extremely cold, only about 2.75 degrees above the coldest possible temperature. It is so faint that we cannot see it with our eyes. It is like a delicate glow in an area of the light spectrum that is invisible to us. In the past, if you tuned an old television to an empty channel, you might have seen a pattern that resembled this afterglow. The CMB comes from about 400,000 years after the beginning of the universe, when it was still extremely hot, around 273 million degrees above the lowest temperature possible. Back then, atoms could not form, and the universe was filled with separate particles like protons and electrons. The light from that time, made up of tiny particles called photons, moved around like it was trapped in thick fog. When the universe finally cooled enough for hydrogen atoms to form, these photons could travel freely. This important moment is known as the surface of last scattering, because it was the last time the light interacted with matter. In 1989, NASA's COBE mission provided us with the first full sky map of the CMB, giving us a picture of the early universe and confirming many ideas of the Big Bang Theory. Later on, in 2003, the Wilkinson Microwave Anisotropy Probe offered an even more detailed view, further revealing the universe's ancient history. Number 9. Buddha's Void. Imagine an enormous, almost empty space in the universe called the Buddha's Void. This region is located about 700 million light-years away in the Bootes constellation. It was first found in 1981 by an American astronomer named Robert Kirsner and his team. At the time, only one galaxy was seen there. Since then, astronomers have discovered only a few more galaxies, making this area very empty compared to other regions in space. If we placed a galaxy every 10 million light-years in this area, we would only see a few scattered galaxies. For comparison, this spacing is 4 times greater than the distance from Earth to the Andromeda Galaxy. In our local area, known as the Virgo supercluster, there are over 2,000 galaxies in a region that spans about 110 million light-years. To put it in perspective, if our Milky Way were at the center of the Buddha's Void, we might not have known about other galaxies until the 1960s. In our neighborhood, however, there are about 24 galaxies within just 3 million light-years. Scientists expected this void to hold around 10,000 galaxies based on the average distance between galaxies elsewhere in the universe, but only about 60 have been found. This makes the Buddha's Void one of the most interesting and sparsely populated areas in the cosmos. Number 10. Red Rectangle Nebula. Take a moment to look up at the night sky and imagine a stunning, unusual cosmic object. This is the Red Rectangle Nebula. It was captured by NASA's Hubble Space Telescope and is also known as HD 44179. The nebula gets its name from its unique shape. It looks like a giant red rectangle or square with steps along its sides that resemble a ladder. This interesting shape happens because a thick dust cloud squeezes a normally round collection of gas into this form. The edges of the nebula seem to form an X, and the patterns within it look like a large spider web or woven design. The bright red and orange hues come from warm dust and hydrocarbon molecules, which might even be some of the building blocks of life. Unlike other nebulae that glow in plain white because of hydrogen, the red Rectangle Nebula stands out with its unusual colors. It was first discovered in the early 1970s during a rocket flight when astronomers were searching for strong sources of infrared light. This nebula is about 2,300 light-years away from Earth in the direction of the constellation Monoceros. When starlight is absorbed by the dust around stars, the dust warms and re-emits the light as red light, which makes the red Rectangle Nebula shine in a special way. So what are your thoughts on these mysteries? Tell us in the comments below and subscribe to our channel for more content. Thanks for watching.